let me join other Nigerians and Abians to congratulate her and wish her well. Her emergence is a well-deserved and position. She has made the Nigerians proud, and is an indication, her emergence, that Nigerians are not lacking in human capacity. Her emergence has shown us that Nigeria is very rich in manpower and can produce world-class personnel, world-class best brain. It's no longer in doubt our ability in Nigeria in terms of exposure. Okonjo-Iweala's position only goes to tell that in spite of the high number of intellectuals and economists we have, the problem of Nigeria remains that of man-made and not one of economical personnel. I pray that she's going to do well. It's an evidence. If you look at the latest appointments by Biden, you see the number of Nigerians appointed already, plus Okonjo-Iweala. That shows us hope for Nigeria. And therefore, I want to encourage Nigerians to also train everybody, including girl, child, and women, not to be relegated. And it's also an indication that women should be given more place in administrative and policy making in Nigeria. During her time, she was able to stabilize dollar in Nigeria for 160 for 4 years and above. It shows that she's got the knowledge, she can fix it. And I believe there are other women like Okonjo-Iweala out there, so they should be given an opportunity. I wish her well, and I pray she succeeds greatly. Of course, it's going to promote Nigeria, not only in terms of that we have intellectual and capable persons. She will be able to attract foreign investments. Her name, her person, her emergence is like a guarantee to foreign investors that Nigeria is workable, that Nigeria is fertile, that Nigeria is a good place to invest. Coming down to Abia, of course, we cannot say we don't have enough. Even without having this position, Abia was the third in ranking that attracted foreign investment. Now that she's sitting at the World Trade Organization, that means Abia will trade with the world. That means Nigeria will trade the world. Will no longer be locals. We will now try to move more than made in Aba. The world will now see made in Aba. Now that she's here, we will trade very, very well. So I'm very happy. Abians will benefit. Nigerians will be great because her name, her person, her position will be a kind of security and guarantee Nigerians. And I mean, it is for us now to receive wholeheartedly foreign investment and manage it well, like she's going to manage WTO. In fact, women are the biggest trouble to themselves. We need to give them an opportunity. I want them to realize that you don't dash out power. They must persistently and consistently ask for more chances. If they can't get elected positions, then government should have a deliberate policy of giving them 50% and above of the appointments. If you look at the South African example or Kenyan example, they've achieved a lot milestone because they are dedicated, determined, and willing. In Nigeria, because of some cultural and religious issues, women still suffer some setbacks. Of course, the economic issue is also there because even if you make the forms free for them across the party lines, how about campaign and all that things? And the way we campaign here, women are not favored. For example, late night meetings and all whatnot and so on. So, if the voters are constitute 70% of the voters are women, can they have women party in Nigeria where they will fill all their candidates? Or can the women resolve that any party that gives them presidential candidate, all women will vote? Can they resolve that if you don't give them vice president, any party that gives them vice president, they'll all vote there? So the women should develop capacity to market themselves. They should develop capacity to argue for themselves. If they think that men will dash them that power, it will be difficult. But they can have a resolve. For example, in my own community, in my own constituency, women constitute 70% above of the voters. If they decide who goes where, then they will win. So, but because they believe they are subject to men and judges of men, they foolishly, I would say, obey the men. They foolishly and sheepishly follow the men. They ridiculously do what the men want them to do, and they will come back to cry. I'll give you an example. In the last presidential election held at Eagle Square, President Jonathan contested with one lady called Sarah something, and then in that delegates election, 30% of them were women, yet Sarah got only her vote. Where are the other women? So that means that women have even rejected her. You see, so they are their problem. They must wake up. I told them in one place sometimes, say, look, women should declare 7 days of what I call it, emergency or strike. Say if they don't get what they want, they will cook for no man, they will go to no other room with no other man. They will do things very, very extraordinary to get extraordinary results. But if they keep begging for this, they will never get it. They must take a radical step. Like in South Africa, they have almost equality with men because they argued and fought for it. But Nigerian women are so obedient to the extent that they are punishing themselves. That's that. So I also think that parties should deliberately allow women more chances. But it's difficult until they mature in that game. So the best they can do now will be let people or men in power and authority be able to appoint women in policy-making areas. For example, the number of women we had, they've not filled us much. Comparatively, they have an edge over men in the administrations. Have you had any finance minister better than Okonjo-Iweala in Nigeria? I can't think of any. Because she was opportune, she had exposure outside. If she had all the full exposures in Nigeria, she wouldn't have gotten to this place. But because she came from outside crime to show us her worth, and also left to continue maintain the line of credibility. So they should be given a space in the political arena. They should be given more space, in fact.